How y'all doing? I'm Decee Cornish and I tell stories. But before I begin, I want to say something real quick and sing a little song for the people here in George West. Because I had a rough day today, and I'm going to thank you with a song. When I was in the military, one of the things that we did was we'd get homesick. And when we got homesick, one of the favorite songs I used to listen to was old Jerry Jeff Walker. I love Jerry Jeff Walker. Now y'all looking at me going, why is a black guy listening to Jerry Jeff Walker? That's because it was on the radio. So I'm going to do this for my folks at George West. This is for Mary Margaret and her crew. I can substantiate the rumor that the English sense of humor is drier than Texas sand. I wanna go home to the armadillo. Good country music from Amarillo and Abilene. The prettiest women and the friendliest people you'll ever meet. Thank you, George West, for all y'all done for me today. I was inspired by Frank Dobie in a kind of an odd way. I was reading a book called T for Texas, and in there was a woman that told the stories. She told a story about Frank Dobie coming to her house and other members of the Texas Folklore Society having tea. And she said that he just sat down and he went to telling stories. So I'm going to do just that. I'm going to just tell some Frank Dobie stories real quick and have a little fun, if that's all right with you. Because Frank said in one of his books called, well, I'll just start off with it. He said that there were a lot of things that scared him when he was a kid, but the one thing that scared him more than anything else in the world was a panther scream. That's right, a panther scream. Oh yeah, because panthers were something terrible. We didn't call them mountain lions in Texas. Sometimes we call them panthers. We had panthers. And a panther scream was a scary thing. Because sometimes they was baby hungry. Sometimes they were just hungry. And it all started one day while a fella was, well, he was at the Flower with the Lucy. And he'd been working out on the range. Now a couple of his buddies had left a piece of deer meat in a shack. And he was going to be staying in that shack. And so that's what he did. He went in there and, man, he unloaded his stuff and he put his saddle by the door and he laid all his rope and stuff down and he climbed in that bed and he fell fast asleep. Now, don't get me wrong, he stuck his pistol under his pillow. Now, so he gets in the bed, he's laying in the bed, and while he's laying in the bed, he done fell sound asleep. And then all of a sudden, he feels something touch his leg. A gentle, soft touch. Now, they'd had a problem with Comanche, and he thought maybe it was a Comanche. So he thought he'd just lay real still like this him. Then he felt that same touch a little further up his leg. And he just knew right then and there. And he made his mind up that if he wasn't going to the happy hunting ground by himself. So when he felt that touch again, he closed his eyes and he brought his hands up real quick and he didn't reach for his pistol. He reached and he grabbed that Comanche by the throat. But it wasn't a Comanche, it was a panther. He grabbed that panther by the throat and boy, that panther cut loose. You should have seen him, boy, that was a wham. That panther was a scratching and a biting. I'm going to tell you something. He said that blanket was a lifesaver because he got to get that panther all tangled up in that blanket. And when he got him all tangled up in that blanket, he rolled his leg around it. And they went to rolling all up and down that road. Boom, 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 back and forth, all over. Until he finally came by his saddle. Now when he came by his saddle, he pulled a string off his saddle horn, and he gripped that string, and he was able to get that string around that panther's mouth.